Welcome to the Directors Club podcast, your go-to resource for childcare center owners and directors seeking success at their centers. Each week, we dive into the world of childcare management, sharing valuable tips, tools, resources, and strategies to help you build enrollment, retain top teachers, and streamline your operations. With a casual and lighthearted approach, we tackle the challenges you face from staffing and enrollment to business skills and time management. Join us as we unlock the secrets to creating a thriving childcare center. Let's laugh, learn, and grow together. This is the Directors Club podcast. Welcome to the Directors Club podcast, the podcast that helps you learn the business skills you need as a childcare center director to build enrollment, retain your best teachers, and get your center operating just how you want it. I'm Noelle Dentino. I'm a fellow childcare center owner and active director with my sister Sarah. We operate a successful childcare center in Massachusetts. By merging my background in business with Sarah's background in early education, we found the perfect recipe for a successful center. We have a membership for directors that teaches short training videos with done-for-you business process so you can implement and take action today. When childcare center directors implement these practices, they create the center they always dreamed of, a thriving childcare center community. The Directors Club podcast will provide you with simple business tips to help you get things done at your childcare center. Podcast number 6, 12 steps to onboard your next new teacher. Hey there, it's Noelle from the Directors Club, and today I'm talking about employee onboarding. And this has been part of a 3-series hiring podcast, right? So a few weeks ago, in episode number 4, I talked about restructuring the job ad into a sales ad. Episode number 5, which is getting your job ad out there, like all the things you can do to get your job ad seen by more and more people. And now this one, welcoming your new employee with employee onboarding. So I hope that this series of 3 podcasts have helped you to find that great next teacher. But what is employee onboarding and why is it so important? It's the process you take as an employer from the moment of offer to the first week that they're on the job. It's your center's first impression. And you only get one chance to make a good first impression. And we all know how hard it is as childcare center directors to find that great person to come to your center. And it's even more important that we do a really good job welcoming them into the center gradually and providing them with all the support and resources they need to get set up. So it's less stressful for them. This will help you retain your teachers longer. So, it's a 12-step process to successfully onboard your next new teacher. What I want you to do is to create a Word document. And as we go through the 12 steps, you're going to draft your whatever I'm asking you and providing you information on into this Word document. That way you're just cutting and pasting nonstop. And you don't have to keep rewriting this, so you can make it easier. So you're just creating a Word document and putting this in there. So step 1 is the first email that will go out. It's the welcome to the team after they accept the offer. So I want you to draft an email that welcomes them to the team and tell them how excited you are to have them join your team and maybe list a couple of personal things that you liked about their interview where you feel they'll be a good part of the team. You could also put a link in there of your website, your Facebook page, invite them to join a private group with you and the other team if you have one for your teachers, and really start to welcome them into the center. I would also offer them, if they have any questions, they can just reply to the email and you'll get back to them right away. So that's email number 1. The second step is another email. You're going to send this a few days later. So if you're hiring someone and they're starting in a 2-week period, you want to do these like every 3 days. You have to plan these based on when they're coming. So if they're coming in a week, you might want to do one every other day. If they're coming in 3 weeks, like space them out appropriately so they're getting one every few days. So the second email is pre-employment training, required paperwork, and dress code email. So this talks about any pre-employment training they might need. Like in Massachusetts, we need to make sure that all of our employees have gone through Strong Start or are attempting to go through it. We like to start that before they come. If you're requiring any paperwork or the state requires any paperwork, make a list so that they have everything in one place of what they need to bring. And also make a note on there that if they have trouble finding any of the paperwork, that you can guide them to the right resources. You don't want to provide this email and they don't have one or two of the things and then they don't show up because they're stressed out. You want them to know that you're going to help them work through all of this. And then a dress code, because they always ask, what can we wear? Email number 3, so step 3, is a history of how the center started. So send this email with just a link to your page. So email number 3 is a history of how the center started. So you can share with them a brief history of why you started your center, how you started your center. Most centers have this on their About Me page. You could send a link to that. You could write up a little blurb about how you started your center, a little bit of background about yourself and any of the other owners. And this just gives them a little view of how you came about. Email number 4 is a few days before they start, sharing your excitement for them to start and offering to answer any questions. This kind of helps them ease in and not feel so anxious. Sometimes our anxiety gets the best of us, right? And maybe that's a reason why they don't start. But you reaching out and saying, like, I know that it's, a little stressful starting a new job, but I want you to know I'm here for you. All right, step number 5, the first day. So welcome them to the center and assign them a mentor who is there to welcome them too and show them just how to punch in, how to get started, how to start their day at your center. This will, out of the gate, give them a friend and someone to connect with. It will have them walking through the center as as you normally do on your first day or any day, all the things that you do to set yourself up for the day. This provides them with someone that can help them right away. Step number 6, orientation with administration. Don't push this off. I cannot tell you how many centers I've gone into to consult, and I'll go through the files and I'll talk to new employees or any employee. And one of the first things they say is, I never had orientation. There was no time. You don't want to set yourself up for that. You want to think about what it's like as a new person coming to your center and how would you feel if I couldn't give you time, right? You don't want that. So always make sure that there is time in the first day or two to give orientation with however you're supposed to do it with your state regulations, but that is critical. Step number 7, on-the-job orientation with a mentor. So at Scribble Time, we like to do this for 3 days. So our first day, they're welcomed in, like we said, with a mentor, shown exactly how to get ready for the day, and then they go into their first classroom. And they're an extra. It's called on-the-job orientation. And they work with one of our supervising team leaders or our higher level teachers that know the ins and outs and know how to connect with people. And they'll work out of the numbers and just see what it's like to learn all the different things they have to do at your childcare center. Now, if you haven't already, I have a new employee checklist that you can download. It's on my website. It's thedirectorsclub.net, and you can download that on my website for free. And that is a great checklist to use for on-the-job orientation. And it just goes through like where to show, allergy lists, like where's the fire exits, How do we change diapers? Like, it has all the things that we like to review, even for the experienced teacher that you're hiring. It's so good just to review everything because not every center does everything the same, right? All right. Number 8, a new employee gift is given when they leave with a note that says, "We're glad you're here." Like, what can you give a new employee on their first day? Like maybe a magnet with your logo on it, or a water bottle with their initials on it, or some candy and just a note that says, "We're glad you're here." It just is a nice way to end their first day. Number 9, we're back to the email. So number 5 email is on the first day with all the links, with all the ways to connect with the center, from the public Facebook group to private Facebook groups. You can just link everything. Here's our Facebook group. We also offer Remind. We have emails that you can sign up for. So really find ways to continue the conversation about any questions they may have and how to support them. So it's connecting with you and continuing the conversation with any questions they have. So those are the 5 emails. So in your Word document, you should have email number 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 5, with a link to all the ways to connect with the center. All right, step number 10. The end of their first week, I want you to do a check-in. Meet with the new teacher and check in to see how things are going and what support they may need. This could be a quick meeting, or you could find something out that you could resolve right away to retain them. Instead of them not showing back up next week, solve the problem today. Step number 11, at the first staff meeting, ensure that the mentor is there to be their friend. Make a note at the staff meeting to say something you have loved about having them at your center. So, picture this. I have 30 people that work for me. We're all sitting in a room and the new girl walks in. How intimidating is that, right? So, this is when you take that mentor that welcomed them on their first day and make sure that they welcome them to their first staff meeting and get them involved and encouraged and part of the conversation. I think that's so important. And then you as the leader welcoming them in front of everyone. And the final step is step 12. 30 days from their first day is the final step, employee check-in. I want you to go back to another one-on-one meeting with them and see how it's going, how you can support them. There could be a time where they're like, "I really love in the toddler room, but I would like this," or "I'm loving floating, but if a job ever came open in toddler 2, I'd love to go work in there." It's a great way to have a conversation, answer any questions, resolve anything they might be anxious of, and begin talking about career goals. Do you see yourself anyplace? Do you like this position? Do you like a certain classroom? Do you like working with certain people? It's a confidential way just to kind of get to understand them. And I'd also ask them here, how, what's important to you to feel valued? How do you like to be rewarded? You could, do they like to get notes? Do they like chocolate? Do they like to have an announcement about themselves? Whatever it is, but get to know them. Get to resolve any of their issues and find ways to connect with them. So these are just the 12 steps. I'm going to go through it quick. Step number 1, an email to welcome them to the team. Step number 2, pre-employment training email with any required paperwork that you need. And obviously on all these email steps, you are adding in, if you have any questions, just email me back and I'll get back to you. Step 3, emailing them a history of how the center started. Step number 4, another email just a day or 2 before they're coming, sharing your excitement to have them join the team. Step 5 is assigning them a mentor to welcome them on their first day and get them acclimated in the morning. Step 6 is orientation with administration. Step 7, on-the-job orientation with the mentor for 3 days, out of the ratios. Step 8, a new employee gift on the night that they leave for the first time, saying, "We're glad you're here." Step 9 is another email on their first day with all the links to connect with the center from public Facebook groups, and also to answer any questions they might have after their first day. Step 10 is an employee check-in at the end of their first week, just to see how things are going and resolve any issues they may have at that point. Step 11 is ensuring they have a mentor at their first staff meeting so that they don't walk in and have no one to sit with. And step 12 is a 30-day check-in after they've completed 30 days working with you, just to see how it's going and to see how you can support them in their future career goals. It's really a simple process to set one of these up. You can, create all these emails in one Word document and cut and paste. If you can't find the time to do this, I want you to go back to episode number 3, where I teach you my 15-minute challenge. That will find you 15 minutes a day. Can you imagine? Just think of this. If you began the 15 minutes a day by working through these steps and creating all these emails and creating a process, what it's going to feel like to your next new employee when they join, and you have this process set up to welcome them. Think of it like 2 years ago. How did you welcome somebody? And now this year. If you already have an employee onboard system, reevaluate it. See if you can tweak anything, make it better. And maybe you just have the perfect one, which is awesome. So find the time to create this system, because it really will help you retain these teachers that you're finding, because it's going to reduce the stress because you're communicating with them and you're setting them up for success. So I hope this podcast helped you. I'd love it if you give me a rating at the end of it to tell me how we're doing, if we're talking about topics that you are interested in. I appreciate you listening, and I can't wait to connect with you soon. Have an awesome day. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of the Directors Club. We hope you found tips, tools, and strategies valuable for your childcare center. To access even more resources and take your center to new heights, visit our website at thedirectorsclub.net. There you'll find a wealth of exclusive content, training programs, and support tailored specifically to childcare center owners and directors. Don't miss out on this opportunity to unlock your center's full potential. Remember, success starts here at the Directors Club.